Muhammad Ali sat down for dinner at a restaurant. Across from him sat Bruce Lee. Two legends, one ordinary table, a quiet evening. But when the waiter arrived and said just one sentence, he turned that night into a moment Ali would never forget. "Gentlemen, I think you came to the wrong place." Ali smiled. He was used to this kind of situation. But Bruce Lee didn't smile. And in that moment, Ali hadn't realized yet. But that night, he would learn the difference between how a champion acts and how real power is shown. The restaurant was in one of Los Angeles's upscale neighborhoods. Mid-1970s, the city was shining, but the same tension existed everywhere. Ali had come for an interview in Hollywood. Bruce Lee was taking a short break between his films. They had met through a mutual friend and thought, a dinner would be nice. Ali was as energetic as always. While talking, he cut the air with his hands, laughed, even greeted the tables around him. Bruce was quieter. He sat, listened. His eyes were sharp, his body motionless, but somehow he saw everything. When the waiter came, Ali smiled at him. "Good evening, my friend. Can we get the menu?" The waiter was a middle-aged white man. His apron was spotless, his face expressionless. He looked at Ali, then at Bruce, then back at Ali. "Gentlemen," he said, his voice low but clear, "I think you came to the wrong place." Ali's smile remained, but his eyes narrowed slightly. "Wrong place? Isn't this a restaurant?" "It is," the waiter said. "But here, there's no room for you." Ali's mind paused for a second. Then came that familiar tone, playful but sharp. "Friend, I'm the world champion. Don't you recognize me?" The waiter shrugged. "I do, but rules are rules." For a moment, confusion appeared on Ali's face, then anger. But he immediately suppressed it. He was about to get up when Bruce Lee spoke. His voice was very calm, almost a whisper. But somehow every word was crystal clear. "Rules?" The waiter turned to Bruce. There was a moment of hesitation in his eyes, but he quickly collected himself. "Yes, rules." Bruce tilted his head slightly, as if thinking. Ali didn't know him well, but this movement was like Bruce's pre-combat movement, completely calm, completely controlled. "Which rule?" Bruce asked. The waiter didn't answer. He just stood there. Ali jumped in. "Leave it, Bruce. Let's go. This place isn't worth our money." But Bruce didn't move. He kept looking at the waiter. Not aggressively, not threateningly, just looking. The silence stretched. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Other tables started noticing. Whispers began. People turned to look, and that's when Ali realized something he hadn't noticed before. But Ali hadn't realized what Bruce was really doing yet. Bruce wasn't arguing. He wasn't threatening. He wasn't even raising his voice. He was simply waiting. Waiting for the waiter to feel his own discomfort. Waiting for the room to see what was happening. Waiting for the truth to surface without forcing it. Ali had always used his voice. His words were his weapons. When someone disrespected him, he would verbally destroy them, make them laugh, make them think, make them uncomfortable with his wit. But Bruce used silence, and it was more powerful than any words Ali had ever spoken. The waiter shifted his weight. His face reddened slightly. His eyes darted to the manager's station near the kitchen, then back to Bruce. "Sir, I'm just following orders?" Bruce finished his sentence. His tone wasn't sarcastic. It was genuinely curious. The waiter swallowed. It's policy." "Policy," Bruce repeated. He nodded slowly. "Whose policy?" No answer. Bruce leaned back slightly. His hands rested on the table, completely relaxed, but his eyes never left the waiter's face. "Do you believe in this policy?" Bruce asked. The question hung in the air. Ali watched, fascinated. He had never seen someone dismantle a situation like this. No shouting, no threats, just questions. The waiter's mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. I just work here." "I understand," Bruce said, "but you chose to deliver the message, so I'm asking you, not your boss, not the owner, you. Do you believe we should leave?" This is where everything shifted. The waiter's face went pale. His eyes looked down. Around them, the entire restaurant had gone quiet. Every table was watching now. Ali felt something strange in that moment. He felt protected, not by fists, not by fame, but by something deeper, by the simple act of someone refusing to accept humiliation without forcing confrontation. Bruce wasn't trying to win an argument. He was trying to give the waiter a chance to be honest. And the waiter knew it. "No," the waiter finally said, his voice barely audible. "No, I don't." Bruce nodded. "Then we'll stay, and you'll bring us the menu, and we'll order, and we'll eat, and we'll leave a good tip, because you were honest." The waiter stood frozen for another moment. Then, slowly, he nodded. I'll get your menus." He walked away quickly, his head down. Ali exhaled. He hadn't realized he'd been holding his breath. "Bruce, what the hell was that?" Bruce looked at him and smiled for the first time that night. That was giving him a choice. A choice? He could have lied. He could have doubled down. But I gave him space, to be honest. Most people, they want to be honest. They just need permission. Ali sat back in his chair. His mind was racing. He still hadn't heard the real lesson yet. The menus arrived. The waiter placed them down gently, didn't make eye contact, and left quickly. Ali picked up his menu but wasn't reading it. He was staring at Bruce. "You didn't threaten him. You didn't embarrass him. You didn't even argue." "No," Bruce said simply. "So why did he back down?" Bruce looked up from his menu. "Because he confronted himself, not me. Himself." Ali frowned. "I don't follow." Bruce put down his menu. "Ali, you're the greatest fighter in the world. When someone disrespects you, you destroy them with words. You make them look foolish. You make yourself look bigger. And it works. People love it. You're a master at it." Ali couldn't tell if this was a compliment or criticism. "But?" he asked. "But," Bruce continued, "when you destroy someone with words, they walk away destroyed. They don't learn. They don't change. They just hate you more quietly." Ali felt a small sting in that statement. "So what's the alternative? Let them disrespect me?" "No," Bruce said firmly. "Never let them disrespect you, but make them disrespect themselves first." "Wait, don't miss this detail." Bruce leaned forward slightly. "That waiter didn't change his mind because I was tough. He changed his mind because I made him see his own choice. I didn't attack him. I didn't defend myself. I just asked him to defend his own actions. And he couldn't." Ali processed this slowly. "So you made him fight himself?" "Exactly. But what if he didn't break? What if he just kept saying no?" Bruce shrugged. "Then we leave. But he has to live with knowing he chose that. Not his boss, not the policy, him." Ali was quiet for a long moment. That's a different kind of power." "It is," Bruce agreed. "It's the power to let someone defeat themselves. No fists, no words, just truth." The food arrived. They ate in relative silence. But Ali's mind was spinning. He thought about all the times he'd verbally destroyed someone, All the press conferences where he'd humiliated opponents. All the moments where he'd made people laugh at someone else's expense. He had always thought that was strength. But sitting across from Bruce Lee, he realized maybe there was a deeper strength he hadn't fully understood yet. For the first time that night, Ali went completely silent. After dinner, they walked out together. The cool Los Angeles air hit their faces. The street was quiet. Ali stopped on the sidewalk. "Bruce, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "If that waiter had gotten physical, if he had tried to throw us out, what would you have done?" Bruce looked at him with those calm, unreadable eyes. "I would have stopped him." "How?" "Efficiently." Ali laughed. "That's not an answer." "It's the only answer," Bruce said. "Violence is a tool. You use it when necessary. But making it necessary, that's a failure. If I had threatened him, if I had postured, if I had made him feel small, then violence becomes the only language left. But if you remove ego, remove fear, remove the need to dominate, most violence never happens." Ali shook his head, smiling. "Man, you're a philosopher." "No," Bruce said. "I'm just someone who's been in enough real fights to know that most fights are about ego, and ego makes you weak." That word hit Ali hard. Weak. He had never thought of himself as weak. He was Muhammad Ali, the greatest, undefeated in the ring of public opinion. But in that moment, he wondered, was his need to always be the loudest, the funniest, the most dominant? Was that strength, or was it something else? Ali paused before speaking again. "Bruce, I've spent my whole life being loud, making sure nobody ever forgets I'm in the room. You know why?" Bruce waited. "Because if I'm not loud, people ignore me, they dismiss me, they treat me like that waiter tried to treat us tonight." Bruce nodded slowly. "I understand. But Ali, there's a difference between being seen and being respected." "What's the difference?" "Being seen means people notice you. Being respected means people think twice before challenging you. You can be seen and not respected, but you can also be respected without saying a word." Ali looked at him. "You really believe that?" "I know it," Bruce said. "I've walked into rooms where people wanted to test me. They wanted to see if the movie star could actually fight. And I never said a word. I just stood there. And they felt it. That's not about muscles. It's not about reputation. It's about certainty." "Certainty?" "Certainty that you don't need to prove anything. Certainty that you're not afraid of silence. Certainty that you'll act if necessary, but you don't need it to be necessary." Ali's expression changed. He thought about the waiter, about how Bruce had dismantled the situation without raising his voice, without threats, without ego. And he thought about himself. How many times had he turned a small disrespect into a huge spectacle? How many times had he made someone hate him just to prove a point? He was the greatest boxer alive. But was he the greatest man? "Bruce," Ali said quietly, "I think I've been fighting the wrong battles." Bruce smiled. "No, you've been fighting your battles your way. And it worked, but there's always another level." "And you're on that level?" "I'm trying to be," Bruce said honestly. "Every day. It's harder than any fight, because the enemy is always yourself." They stood there for a moment, two legends under the Los Angeles streetlights. Then Ali extended his hand. "Thank you." Bruce shook it. "For what?" "For showing me something I needed to see." Nothing was the same after that night. Ali went back to his life, back to the cameras, the interviews, the fights. But something had shifted inside him. He still talked, he still joked, He still proclaimed himself the greatest. But there were moments, small moments, where he chose silence instead of spectacle, where he asked a question instead of delivering a punchline, where he let someone confront themselves instead of confronting them. And in those moments, people saw something different in his eyes, not just confidence, not just charisma, but something deeper. A man who had learned that true power isn't about how loud you can be. It's about how quiet you can stay when everything inside you wants to explode. It's about giving people the space to defeat themselves instead of defeating them for sport. It's about knowing that respect earned in silence lasts longer than respect earned in noise. Muhammad Ali left that restaurant as the same world champion who walked in. But he left understanding something Bruce Lee had mastered long before. The most dangerous fighters aren't the ones who always strike first. They're the ones who never need to strike at all,